The sports world was stunned as reports emerged that the Kansas City Chiefs made the unthinkable decision to part ways with their legendary tight end, Travis Kelce. For years, Kelce has been a cornerstone of the franchise, a dynamic leader who helped define the team's identity and fuel its championship runs. The announcement came suddenly, with minimal explanation from team officials, sparking immediate debate among analysts and fans. The timing of the move raised even more questions, occurring in a critical phase of the season when team chemistry and experience matter most. For many, this is not merely a roster decision, it represents a seismic shift in Kansas City's long-term vision. Kelce's impact extended beyond the field. His connection with Patrick Mahomes and his influence in the locker room made him irreplaceable in the eyes of supporters. Understanding the rationale behind this decision requires examining both the internal and external pressures shaping the Chiefs' strategy in an evolving NFL landscape. Before understanding the reason behind his departure, it is essential to recognize the legacy Travis Kelce leaves behind. Since joining the Chiefs, he has been more than an athlete, he has been a symbol of consistency, innovation, and leadership. His chemistry with Patrick Mahomes transformed the Chiefs' offense into one of the most formidable in football history. Kelce's statistics reflect excellence: multiple Pro Bowl selections, record-breaking yardage, and a postseason arsome that few tight ends in NFL history can rival. Yet his influence extended far beyond numbers. He brought energy, confidence, and a winning mindset that inspired teammates and reshaped the tight end position for an entire generation. For the Chiefs, his presence defined an era marked by teamwork, resilience, and championship ambition. This makes his release even more shocking. To understand such a drastic decision, one must look beneath the surface into the factors that may have forced the organization to make a painful, yet calculated, move. In modern football, financial balance often dictates roster moves. No matter how emotionally difficult, Travis Kelce's contract, while justified by his performance, represented a significant cap burden for the Chiefs. As the team looks to sustain long-term success, managing salary distribution becomes critical. Recent extensions, rising young talent, and Mahomes' historic deal placed the organization under immense fiscal strain. Reports suggest that negotiations for restructuring Kelce's contract reached a challenging impasse. The front office faced a dilemma: retain an aging star with the high cap hit or create flexibility for future investments. Such decisions rarely come without internal debate. For a team aiming to remain competitive for years, difficult sacrifices are sometimes necessary. The financial aspect may not fully explain Kelce's release, but it provides vital context. The Chiefs are in a delicate transition phase, balancing loyalty to veterans with the harsh realities of salary cap management, a tension that often defines championship dynasties in their later stages. Even the greatest athletes encounter the inevitable reality of physical decline. Travis Kelce's career longevity has been remarkable, but signs of wear have become more evident in recent seasons. Subtle decreases in speed, recovery time, and explosiveness have prompted questions about sustainability. While his skill and intelligence remained elite, the demands of the position are unforgiving. The Chiefs' coaching staff reportedly monitored performance metrics closely, noting gradual but undeniable changes. For a team dependent on efficiency and tempo, any drop in physical sharpness becomes magnified. Evaluating future potential against past excellence is never easy, especially with a player who redefined his role. The organization's decision may reflect a proactive strategy rather than a reactive one, an effort to prepare for the next phase before decline becomes disruptive. Such choices, while painful, illustrate the business reality of professional sports. Sentiment cannot outweigh sustainability. Kelce's professionalism, however, ensures that his influence will endure, regardless of physical limitations or transitions ahead. Beyond performance and finances, leadership dynamics often shape key organizational decisions. Travis Kelce's personality has always been vibrant, competitive, vocal, and passionate. However, as teams evolve, so do their internal cultures. The The Chiefs' locker room has gradually shifted toward a younger, more disciplined environment emphasizing system cohesion and adaptability. Reports suggest that certain leadership philosophies began to diverge between veterans and management. While no conflict was publicized, subtle differences in approach may have influenced the front office's direction. Younger stars are emerging, and the coaching staff seeks to cultivate new voices in leadership roles. Kelce's departure may symbolize a generational transition rather than a disciplinary issue. Culture defines championship, continuity, and managing the balance between legacy and progress is delicate. By parting ways with one of their most influential figures, the Chiefs signal a desire to evolve strategically. Yet the respect for Kelce's impact remains profound. Even as the organization redefines its internal identity for the future, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce shared one of the most dynamic partnerships in football. Their connection transcended playbooks, built on trust, timing, and mutual respect. The news of Kelce's release reportedly hit Mahomes hard, both personally and professionally. For years, their synergy shaped the Chiefs' offensive identity, producing unforgettable moments on the field. Mahomes has always valued loyalty, and losing his closest teammate introduces a new emotional challenge. How he responds could influence the team's morale and performance in the coming months. Internally, leadership expectations will shift, with Mahomes carrying even greater responsibility to unify and motivate a restructured offense. The emotional impact of this decision cannot be understated. It alters the fabric of Kansas City's locker room and forces Mahomes to adjust both strategically and psychologically. Yet adversity has often brought out his best qualities. His leadership through this transition may determine whether the Chiefs can maintain their championship standards amid the storm of change. The public reaction to Kelce's release has been immediate and emotional. Chiefs fans, who have celebrated his journey from draft pick to icon, expressed disbelief across social platforms. For many, Kelce represented more than athletic excellence. He embodied loyalty, passion, and connection with the community. His charitable work, charisma, and authenticity made him a beloved figure for beyond Kansas City. The organization now faces the difficult task of maintaining public trust while justifying a decision that appears to many unforgivable. Analysts note that such fan reactions reflect the deep bond between player and franchise. Transparency from management becomes crucial in moments like these, as silence can fuel speculation. The Chiefs' reputation as a stable, player-friendly organization will be tested in how they manage this narrative. Kelce's legacy remains intact, but the emotional rift between fans and the front office could linger. The reaction underscores the human cost behind every business decision in professional sports. Behind every controversial move lies a broader strategic plan. The Chiefs appear to be reimagining their offensive identity, prioritizing adaptability and speed over veteran stability. With emerging stars ready to step into expanded roles, management sees this as an opportunity to modernize the roster and optimize future cap flexibility. Analysts believe the team aims to strengthen its wide receiver depth, diversify offensive options, and create new mismatches in the evolving defensive landscape of the NFL. The decision to release Kelce, while painful, aligns with a long-term vision centered on sustainability and innovation. Building around Mahomes requires fresh dynamics, youthful energy, and financial maneuverability. The organization's willingness to make such a bold move demonstrates confidence in its developmental pipeline and leadership philosophy. Change at this level often signals a strategic reset rather than decline. Kansas City's future success will depend on how effectively this vision translates from planning to performance in the seasons ahead. Travis Kelce's release immediately transformed him into the most sought-after free agent in football. Multiple franchises are expected to pursue him, recognizing both his talent and leadership value. Despite being in the latter phase of his career, Kelce remains a top-tier tight end capable of elevating any offense. His next destination will likely balance competitiveness, culture, and opportunity. Beyond on-field potential, his experience offers a measurable influence for teams seeking mentorship and playoff composure. The market response underscores his continued relevance and respect within the league. For the Chiefs, his next move will inevitably draw comparisons and reflections on the decision's long-term implications. Wherever he lands, Kelce's professionalism and passion will ensure immediate impact. His departure from Kansas City closes one chapter, but opens another one that could reshape the league's tight end landscape once more. His next step will define not just his legacy, but also the narrative surrounding this bold organizational shift. Travis Kelce's release marks the end of one of the most dominant partnerships in NFL history. His journey with the Kansas City Chiefs symbolized an era defined by innovation, leadership, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Every era in sports must evolve, and every dynasty faces decisions that test its values. This moment represents both closure and renewal, a transition from familiarity to uncertainty. For Kelce, his legacy is secure, cemented by championships, records, and the admiration of millions. For the Chiefs, the decision reflects the harsh equilibrium between sentiment and strategy. The team now stands at a crossroads, tasked with sustaining greatness while embracing change. This chapter in Chiefs history will be remembered not just for the departure of a legend, but for how the organization responds in its aftermath. Whether viewed as bold foresight or emotional misstep, the move will define the narrative of Kansas City's next generation, one forged far